everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. Another 4 days has gone by because I once again got play with a friend and get 80 gold, and I just played against myself. I still don't really have a lot of friends here, even though I got that video and I did get like 30 friend requests. Not a lot going on there. Also, this week I could theoretically cheat and play every single one of these quests against my alternate account and then get these quests really well. Winning a game is really easy if your opponent would just concede, and when your opponent is also you, it's easy to get them to concede. So the only real issue there is, while that would be helpful this week, it would only be for at most 7 quests. I can't get these 3 quests done and then get 3 more. If I could do that, I would spend probably 12 hours at least going through quests just getting that gold. And I do need the gold because next week or so for me they're gonna start announcing Druid and Hunter victories, and let's try Druid. They're gonna start announcing the next expansion. They've given a hint that it is this dungeon that's kind of like a big banquet hall castle thing. And it was pretty popular, had some weird quests and such. So I assume it's probably going to be somewhat of a fan favorite in the to the World of Warcraft people, but more and more they need to kind of get away from it or add their own spin to it. I suppose they can't get away from World of Warcraft. They have to either expand with World of Warcraft expansions or just continue. I'm just gonna end my turn until the 4th turn, and then I'm gonna play this, and then let's see this one. In the meantime, I guess I can use this to take out some of these guys. So, as far as news that's actually related to video games, and there's 2 reasons why everything else I talk about isn't really news related to video games. Half of them being it's not really related to video games because there's no video games involved, and half of it being because it's not news. 2 mana crystals this turn. I'll take that. Play this.
Behold, the rage of the fire.
Let's destroy this one. And then play this one. And then I get to discover a minion and a spell. Let's see. Summon a random 1-cost minion. Return a friendly minion to battlefield to your hand. I'll take that guy. And then I will take this. And then we'll play this. Charge or +1/+1 and stealth.
Time waits for no one.
How about we do
another
this,
night on the prowl,
and then end the turn.
Time waits for no one.
So the real news, to get back to it, is Valve sent about 20 cease and desist letters to Counter-Strike Lotto gambling sites, and I think that's pretty much the end of that story. I don't think there's more we can expect to happen there. Darn it.
I must safeguard them.
Deal 2 damage. And should I play anything? No, I don't really see a reason to. Let's end the turn. Other news. Japan is going to make the last VCR ever, which is a little weird. I think it's probably also only the last like VCR that's going to be developed for consumers purchasing, if I was to guess. I suspect it's much more realistic that
Job's done.
that there's still industry companies, like there's TV stations out there and such that
Extraordinary.
need a VCR for something, and they don't have enough parts. Remember, well, I don't know if remember is the right term. I know for a fact that one company I worked for was still using dot matrix printers like a year or two ago. So those companies, they never learn, and they'll act all surprised when the VCR stops getting made and be like, you didn't give us any warning, and we expected this to work for the rest of all eternity. Actual movies, though, I mean, it doesn't matter that much. I suppose there might be some small number of people that have like family footage on a camera and never got it converted to a DVD.
For the wild.
Which that's really mostly just on them at that point. I'm gonna lose here, I'm pretty sure, but it's a little too early to say that. So that's not video game related, but there was a small number of games, like board games that had VHS tapes. You would fast forward or rewind, or it would even sometimes skip in the random ways, and I don't even know how that would work, but it somehow seemed like it did.
Bathe in flames.
And that's a little bit of a shame, this ending, but not really. I'm gonna lose anyway, so let's just play around here and see what happens.
For the wild.
Nothing. Just gives you this special card. So not very much video game related. We have long since I would guess stopped making laserdisc players, and I think laserdiscs and video CD things. Well, video CD may still be getting made because karaoke machines, which are widely popular in Asian countries, are still a thing. So I wouldn't surprise me if those are still getting made. Plus, most DVD players probably could still play a video disc player, and most Blu-ray players could probably still play a video disc player. So the things that are all the same shape and can go in the same device are far less likely to lose compatibility. Nobody's gonna stop making a CD-ROM at any time soon, at least. I assume as much. What we need is the next bit of expansion on cheap permanent memory, and we don't have that yet. Let's just go ahead and play this here. If we had something that was at least 512 megabytes to a terabyte in permanent space, that would be really nice. 512 gigabytes to a terabyte, that's where we need to start. And the Blu-ray, extra Blu-ray things, I think only go, last standard I'm certain about is like 50 gigabytes for a Blu-ray. And and maybe they've squeezed it up and gotten up to 100, 125
For the
gigabytes
wild.
for Blu-ray, but that's not really a realistic amount when you're talking. I've got this 5 terabyte hard drive. It's almost completely full. I need to back it all up in a cheap process. It's like, no, there's no cheap process. Spend the $50 to $100 it would cost for another 5 terabyte hard drive, and live with the fact that that hard drive is still going to have the same potential things that are wrong with it that make it
the wild.
a little bit likely that it will fail. Yeah, copying one hard drive to another hard drive doesn't solve a lot of issues if hard drives only have a 30-year time span and you want something to last 50 years, or if they're both susceptible to magnetic damage and they're both susceptible to water damage and they're both susceptible to static shock. There's a lot of things in hard drives that can get broken, and none of that gets addressed when you just copy one over to the other.
Wild.
In comparison to Blu-ray disc, I mean, it's not really going to get messed up if you get it wet. It's not going to be affected at all until you stick it in like a super powerful magnet. It is susceptible to scratches, which hard drives are kind of not. I mean, you can scratch a hard drive and damage it, but you have to work pretty hard to accomplish that.
Behold the rage of the firelands. Job done.
So, yeah, that kind of sucks. But I really don't care about the VCR thing. I still have a VCR sitting with all my other decrepit. Well, actually, it's sitting 2 shelves above my Laserdisc player, and right below my cassette deck. And none of that equipment has pretty much ever been used. It's all brand new equipment that I purchased when I was attempting a different project and never actually used. Well, I think I did use the cassette deck maybe 4 or 5 times. And I lost my guy. +2/+2 in taunt. Transform into
another night on the prowl.
Still +2/+2 in taunt. +2/+2 in taunt. So now he's a 7/6. Interesting. Next turn I want to play this and then attack. So what's the next not very much video game related? Somebody claims they own the patent to a formula calculation that that is used in No Man's Sky. I think on 2 factors this is a very non-story. One being, I don't think you can actually legally own a patent on a formula on math, and 2, I don't think it's ever going to come to anything. So you can pretty much tell we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Gears of the War 4 is going to have 4K textures and be able to run on Windows 10 at 60 frames per second unlocked. Resolution stuff.
For the wild.
Which sounds cool. With that and the fact that, let's see, let's get a spell. Let's see, destroy a minion, add that random minions to your opponent's hand. Let's see.
Job's done.
Well, like, what is it? It's called not Dead Island. The one where you're in the mall. I have forgotten the name of that series. Well, whatever that series is, where you're a guy running around the mall fighting zombies, that first one in that series is coming to PC. And it's probably not going to stand up very much, but in a lot of ways, I kind of wish more old games would come to PC. Because that way you could start at the beginning. Gears of War 4 is going to be a soft reboot, so I guess it really doesn't matter that much. Let's see. This. And then this. So, this will be funny if this wins. I don't think it's going to.
For the wilds.
Hey, I won! Interesting. So, is Gears of War 4 a game I want to play though? Not really. What else was there? I don't know if we're gonna go 2 recordings here. There's so little to talk about. I'm gonna probably need to just move on to the next thing that. So there was a couple other conversations. Here's a non-news story because it's not really news. It's just a thing they found out. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, a point-and-click scum game from a long time ago, was going to have a sequel, and it got canceled. Not news. I'm sure there's tons of games that were going to have a sequel, and they got canceled. I mean, it would certainly be cool if there was one more of those games, but it wouldn't really have been any much different from the Fate of Atlantis or the Last Crusade. They never really did a Temple of Doom, and what was the first one? Let's see. Indiana Jones and the Ark of the Covenant one. That one too really didn't get a point-and-click adventure game to it. And I was disconnected from the Hearthstone service. Let's try that again. Really, this will be really sucky if the Hearthstone servers just went down. We don't get a lot of that.
To see you again.
I haven't done anything to deserve being banned, but it would be kind of a perfect excuse to stop playing Hearthstone. If I just said, well, alright, they banned me, I don't give a darn. But I haven't cheated or anything like that. In fact, somebody just keeps tried twice to promote a cheating site, and they did it in such a fashion that I didn't realize it until the second time they posted the same thing, that's exactly what they were doing. They kept saying, it really burns me when people go to this website and cheat to get XP, and then they posted the exact same message, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is spam. They're pointing people towards this website, and so I reported them for spam and all of that. I've gotten a little bit more aggressive about reporting people for spam. I certainly have spammers on my comments that just say nice video, good job, and those I assume are like test spam accounts, and they look at my channel to see if you allow comments without looking at them, and so I'll allow the nice video, good job, and then some secondary account will after a while start posting the real spam message. and the real spam message just gets flagged, so whatever. And I take those comments that say nice video, good job, and I pretend like they're real, which I'm sure some of these are. But when somebody just says like great video, that's helpful and all, but I would prefer some proof of actual viewing of the video. And a lot of videos still are so low on views. It's like I really don't believe anybody watched it. Maybe I'm just what would be the right term?
For the wild.
Maybe I'm just self-flagellating, I guess. I always put myself down. Speaking of letdowns, though, the Silent Age is coming out right now. It just aired the first one. And as is my custom, I mention, and I hope I'm doing this right on Twitter, I really don't know. I'm mentioning people, and so depending on the people, if they care about who mentions them, they will, sometimes video game creators will actually watch my videos. And in the Silent Age, this is not gonna turn out good if he watches all of them. But I know he actually watched them because in this particular case, he commented on something I said at the beginning, and so I'm like, oh, this is not gonna be good because I was not happy with the Silent Age, and by the end I was saying, why did you even bother to make this game? So I'm gonna be rather critical there, and there's really not a lot wrong with this Silent Age. It's just kind of a pointless game. So I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings. Sorry. A critic has to be a critic, has to speak his truth always. But I'm not particularly in the business of trying to hurt people's feelings for no reason. Also, so I may do the right thing for a critic, and which is a mean thing to other people. So let's see, is this gonna save me?
Job's done.
Nope. I bet it isn't.
Well played.
No, it didn't. But speaking of being a critic, I am now playing the Lego Jurassic World game, which, after playing Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego The Hobbit, which were two of the worst Lego games ever, I'm really enjoying Lego Jurassic World. I think it's time now, at 23 minutes, for us to try something crazy. We've got all of this and to do, and very little to talk about. I mean, I can say I really haven't watched Jurassic Park and all of that, but I've watched the first movie and I really liked the movie. In fact, the game caused me to like it quite a bit. I'm gonna now go onto my alternate account, turn off the audio. When I was playing myself on the alternate account, it was kind of nice to just for it to be in sync so well that the music would play on my cell phone and on my computer right in sync. It was like a 4-channel surround sound thing. So we're waiting for this one, my alternate account, which is such a new account. It still has 3 victories it needs to get done for playing, winning 7 games to win the Old Gods packs. That's how far back and unused this account is. So I'm gonna put a friendly standard thing here. I think we need to do a Tavern Brawl, do we? Let's accept. We're gonna play as Druid. I'm gonna play on the other one as Shaman, because I'm just going. It's literally hasn't even unlocked all the basic cards, not the common cards, the basic cards. And I know you can win if you do something. I wonder if you can win if you just concede. So, the ultimate first concede. Here, concede.
You win this one.
Without even picking cards or anything. Does that give a victory to me? Win 5 games, Druid or Hunter. So that time it didn't. So let's go back and let's actually play, but just in the game. So we're trying to see, I guess concessions have been programmed here to not count. It says you left the game early. So let's try again. Let's see, we do need a tavern brawl done. Let's see if we can do that one. The other player hasn't unlocked tavern brawls yet. Okay. Standard then. Accept. Shaman again. Choose. Druid again. Start. So they have some anti-cheat here, a little bit.
Versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
I must
But
protect the wild.
not a ton of it. And the problem, of course, with something like this is just how fast can I win when the other player doesn't hit any buttons. In turn. So the other player is just gonna in turn as fast as possible. Give me a minion, something. Take this, play it. In turn. Now I will fill up my 7 slots when cheating like this quite quickly. And so is there some way I could perhaps enrage this chicken in the rare occasion that I can actually deal 1 damage to a character and freeze it? And then give a minion Wind Fury. Casting spells on the other guy. Alright. Summon a 2/2 slime.
The land serves me.
So yeah, I've really gotten to learn to love Jurassic Park, the first movie. The second movie I feel had some problems and was kind of just a poor continuation because it didn't have the same characters that it should have had, and it didn't have the kids. And the first one I could have won right there, actually, if I just played that. The first movie was about 50% a kids movie with this girl that was a hacker slash also sporty and super empowered, and then this little kid that was obsessed with dinosaurs. And if those characters had made it all the way through the series, that would have been a lot better. In the second movie, just from what I understand, there we go, that's another victory. So I'm just going to choose again, and then choose again. Only this week can you cheat this way, but honestly, this would be so much of a time savings if every week before I started recording I could just focus on a light casual play to get 1 or 2 victories at most in 30 minutes, and then use the rest of the victories just by playing my alternate account. Is this super fun? No, not really, but it's alright by me. It's not really fun struggling trying to win anyways. So that's kind of the inherent problem. I wish also instead of having to make my own alternate account, they just have a single player mode. A really dumb AI single player mode where you could all, at my level, always win. I wish there was something like that.
I wonder.
And see, I have to watch both things.
Guide my lads.
I'm not doing a great job at that. So yeah, having just done the second movie, I don't know about the third movie. And I do remember the fourth movie, which was kind of a soft reboot. In a lot of ways, it feels like the series, the first movie was the 2 main adult characters thinking about having kids, and then the second movie is about having a child and maintaining a relationship and that. And then I don't know what's really going to happen in the third movie to follow this theory, but by the time you are at the fourth movie, Jurassic World, it's about your kids being grown up and getting a divorce almost. So it's like the full length of a marriage that doesn't end in death, which is the only successful way a marriage ends is in death, is the old joke. If you're really lucky, you'll both die in the same
Another night on the
same
prowl.
second or instance. Otherwise, it ends in some form of separation. Which isn't actually, in my opinion, that bad of a thing. I've always felt like marriage is a lie. People tell themselves that you're gonna actually be capable of loving somebody for the rest of your life. 50, 60, 70, 80 years. It's just not a realistic thing to promise. Even if you have 100% full intention. If I said I am totally intent on going to Mars, and let's say I'm 100% certain that that's what I want to do, it's still kind of dishonest to promise that. It's just not realistically something that you're certain is going to happen. So here we keep going, keep on cheating. It's a shame I only can do this 1 week doing this, unfortunately, and it's still not super time saving. I can't concede, you can see. I actually have to play someone. Your alternate account can sit here and lose, and it doesn't really matter. This also isn't helping me with ranked, but I'm probably going to have to give up on ranked. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to even make it to 18 this month. It's too difficult a thing. It takes too much of... Let's see, do I want to use this right now? No. It takes too much time, too much struggle, and because it's standard and wild, I'm never going to be able to get both up to a high rank. It's kind of a shame though that I'm playing Lego Jurassic World, the second newest game. If you ignore Lego Dimensions, it's a weird way to say it, but it's the truth. With Lego The Force Awakens being the newest game, it still has some bugs, even though it throws in some good ideas every now and then. New things they're experimenting with. It still has some bugs from like a long time ago. Its engine is still not optimized. It doesn't run at 1080p. They don't care if it runs at 1080p because they're selling versions that run on the 3DS and the Wii, and that's their target thing, not PC. Lego Dimensions, however that eventually turns in, whatever that eventually turns into, probably is never coming to PC.
I wonder.
And so if all the new TT game elements are in Lego Dimensions, that's the end of it for me. Man, I'm sitting here talking and not playing like a fool. Give me a minion. One for each minion that's died this turn. Enrage. Let's take this guy so we can
You
actually
shall not pass.
this guy, and attack. Now end the turn here, so we can get him back. Let's see. Do
I must
2
safeguard
damage there, and let's see, 7 plus 3. Give my hero plus 4.
for the wild.
Attack,
For a loon.
attack, and in the turn. So yeah, I have a few more of the older Lego games, but then it's pretty much the end of the Lego series. And honestly, I've come down to the point where I'm almost ready to say, I had this thought, and as you may have noticed, sometimes when I have thoughts, that's kind of the end. It's the beginning of the end, at least. I've had the thought of just struggling to finish Christmas and then reevaluating how much I put out and how quickly and how many different games and such. And one of the first things on the cutting block would be the kids games series. The only thing that may save it is if I can just get a lot of progress done. I think we're just gonna have to have a longer episode here. Or you know what, I'll just do the rest of this stuff off screen. Because I've proven my example here that I can just do this stuff with my alternate account. Don't friend my alternate account. I don't think I'd even accept friends on there. That would be silly. So when you hit back there, by the way, you cancel the continuation option of challenging your friend. So now I'm trying to get my recording. Let's hop in the Tavern Brawl. There was something about the Tavern Brawl this week where they had to change it. Every draw spell you really needed a minion. Your deck is 30 Raven Idols. Alright, fine. So, Druid with 30 Raven Idols. Let's begin. Yeah, so this is an old one that they actually didn't intend to work this week, and it is going to. They had to pull the original Tavern Brawl for this. So on that, I'm gonna play this once, and then that's gonna be the end of this episode. We're doing a classic 45-minute episode. There's probably a couple of non-video game related, non-news stories, like I said, that I didn't mention. Gary Busey is the wild card in Hitman. I think I talked about that. Where you can kill Gary Busey
I must protect
if you really want to. He's not particularly even an actor that I would want to kill. Any actor that I would want to kill in a Hitman game is probably somebody that wouldn't be willing to have their likeness in the game. So, yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 there. problem with the Raven Idols is about the 4th or 5th turn, you're gonna use them all up. So, and you know exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna play Raven Idol, and they're either gonna discover a minion or a spell. And it's almost certainly gonna be a minion, because minions have more staying power by far than what a spell does. Spell just happens once, and that's it. So, minion. Gain 1 attack for each other card in your hand. Charge your taunt. Whenever you summon a beast, reduce the cost of this card by 1. Interesting. So now I want a beast. And I will take this one.
Job's done.
So I don't think I have this card. The new expansion is coming out. I don't know if it's gonna be a card expansion or a solo adventure. It feels like it's gonna be a solo adventure, and I kind of wish they'd get away from that. I would much prefer the next expansion be just a card expansion, so I can buy 50 packs of the new expansion and be done with it. That's all I can even really afford right now, unless they do some major changes. Let's see. Take this beast. My minions cost 1. Well, on the 9th turn, that's not really helpful. Let's see. We'll take which beast? There we go.
Job's done.
In the turn. I'm at about 6,000 or 7,000 gold right now. So theoretically, at 700 gold, I think I have more than enough to buy 4 or 5 weeks of the expansions if it's a solo adventure. I just don't think they should continue down that path. It seems unrealistic. Let's see. Play this.
Job's done.
In the turn. I wish they'd get solo adventure, get rid of it completely, and particularly now that things are going to be knocked out of the standard play. It's obvious that they're having trouble, or maybe they really do have a tight plan on what they're doing, but it feels like they don't. It feels like they're having trouble keeping players playing, having trouble getting new players to play. The whole recruit a friend stuff seems to be coming out of just almost nowhere.
Job's done.
It certainly wasn't promoted or announced at the beginning of the release of Hearthstone, and it should have been. And when you think about it, it's only maybe a month since they did the whole standard wild break of players, splitting the player base into two groups, and now they're coming back and saying we need more players, we need more players. It's like, no, you didn't need more players. You needed to not have split us into 2 sections. And they want new players, and that's the inherent problem with a lot of business plans and thinkings. It's like, we've already got the old players. They'll never give up. They'll never get frustrated regardless of what we do. So instead of making and continuing to make a good game, we'll just add gimmicks to grab people's attention that we haven't grabbed yet. And it's just not true. And eventually, I think we may find ourselves in a position where we're just willing to drive away all their player base, adding more and more gimmick stuff. And I can certainly feel that. It's like, let's look here on the list. It's last online 17 hours ago, 5 minutes ago. Well, that's my alternate account. Yesterday, a minute ago, a month ago, a month ago. 3 weeks ago, 4 days ago, 7 hours ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 6 hours ago. Anybody who's more than 3 days away from this game is not doing the quest. And the quest was the #1 major thing there in the to promote and encourage people to play. Let's see, deal 2 damage as spell card. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and taunt. I'll take this.
Cthulhu! Cthulhu! Cthulhu!
Give me more minions. So, a massive amount of characters, of players, obviously haven't even been on Battle.net. This doesn't even account for the fact that a lot of these people may have only been on Overwatch, or WoW, or StarCraft, or Diablo. They could be playing any of those games. Speaking of Battle.net, why not just put this on Steam? You'll get a lot more people playing if you did that than anything else. Put it free to play on Steam. And then require people to have Battle.net accounts after that. Just release it through Steam, have some dumb achievements, like all the other games have dumb achievements on Steam.
Behold the rage of the Fireland! Can't do that.
I'll give it a shot.
I kind of need spells at this point. I can do one more minion, then that's it. Spells would probably be smart anyways. Because the druid particularly has a lot of choose one spells. More spells than characters, at least.
Handle it!
So these 2 characters could kill a couple of these. It goes probably without mentioning, I'm still having trouble catching up and maintaining recording games. I've got a lot of work to do. Let's see. Oh wait, these are choose one things, so I get them both now. Ancient Curse into your deck. This guy, and then a spell. So this,
Hurry up!
I'm gonna play this, choose one, and I get both cards now. Let's see. Let's take the Black Knight, and then
Time waits for no one.
and then this, and then this. Gosh, this is taking forever.
Nothing but ash!
And it just undid everything, I think, or it just picked for me. Interesting. That's an interesting just end my turn there. I took so long with the cards.
Witch! Obey my command!
let's see. I need to kill somebody. So let's kill this guy and then we'll take this guy's. Actually, can I do that?
There's little time.
Actually, let's just play the Black Knight. Actually, I have to, don't I?
None.
Distract this guy. Choose a minion. Copy friendly minions attack and health. I'll take that. Deal damage equal to this. Give your hero +1/+1. Ah. This. We'll deal.
That's not a valid.
This.
For the wild.
This. This. We're going almost to an hour here. But need to get back to Lego after this recording, but I still got a lot of work to do. I'm still gonna have to log into my alternate account to get all the other quests done. Which we didn't even do anything with the rogue. I could easily make another 45-minute recording. It's just nothing to talk about. Yeah. Obviously, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. When will we start getting things to talk about? Honestly, I guess summer is just kind of a drought period for video game news. E3 pretends like it's something, but not really. The Sonic Mania apparently is a game that's coming out. I don't really know anything about it. So, what can I really say? It looks like they might be making a new Sonic game. That's kinda cool. It's a thought.
Engaging TC-130 mental dislocator.
The real question is, could I get into that? I didn't really... I like Sonic games, the original Sonic games, for like 5 seconds. And then the gimmick is done. And I think this is probably true for a lot of people. It's just like, I get it. I kind of like that thought for a few seconds, but then it's just it. There's nothing new to it. It's just running around collecting rings, and unlike Mario Brothers, it just doesn't have the charm. I think partially because it feels like it's punishing you, or it just directly is punishing you if you don't do completely perfect runs.
For the wild.
Who are you?
Do we have the victory? Yes, good. So yeah, just Sonic Spinball. I really like that concept because it was a pinball, and still didn't really like it overall. So yeah, we're at 6180. It would, depending on when the new expansion comes out, I don't think I'm gonna be up to 10,000 there. It just doesn't feel like it. I saw somebody, and this is just like, ooh, 2 misdirections. That's interesting. Just like a lie. Somebody said when you open packs, like you can go in circles and get this like stars, and if you just sit here and do that and get a lot of stars before you click on it, little sparkles, then you'll open something, and it's like, no. There is no trick. Obviously, there's no trick. The whole point is it's supposed to be random. Let's see. Disenchant those extra cards, all 5 of them. And that puts me at 395 dust, which I think I would need 400. Yeah, 400 to make anything, so we're almost to the point where I can craft my next item, but that's about it. So I need to do 3 things on Rogue. The right thing to do would be to play in Standard on Rogue in ranked play and try to get up to 18. The wrong thing to do is to save myself some time and just play with my alternate account. I'm gonna do the wrong thing because I've got that advantage to me right now, and frankly I need the extra time because I have poor time management skills recording other videos. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.